Yet another day of chaos in crypto. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried is expected to surrender to U.S. extradition. That's in a court hearing that may be getting underway in the Bahamas. Let's go to Kate Rooney, who can fill us in on exactly what is going on right now. Kate.
Hey, David. Yeah, so court is back in session in the Bahamas after a pretty chaotic hearing there yesterday. We're told by NBC News that Sam Bankman-Fried has not arrived quite yet. Unclear if the former FTX CEO will be there in person today, but his Bahamas-based lawyer did show up. Today's hearing follows a pretty chaotic one yesterday. Bankman-Fried was widely expected to waive extradition and be immediately sent to the U.S. That didn't happen. Instead, there appeared to be a disconnect and a lack of communication between his Bahamian and American legal teams. His U.S. attorneys declined to comment, but NBC News also tells us that both sides voiced confusion yesterday in that courtroom. The hearing had been scheduled so Bankman-Fried could accept extradition, but his lawyer said that his client first wanted to see the indictment against him before making any decisions. And the local defense attorney said he was surprised to even see Bankman-Fried in the court at all. At the end of the day, his local attorney told Reuters and some local reporters that his client had agreed to extradition voluntarily, defying, quote, the strongest possible legal advice. That is what we expect today. So a source confirms that Bankman-Fried is expected to accept extradition. If and when that happens, we'll see. He would be flown to the U.S. for a bail hearing. He was denied bail in the Bahamas last week and has been in the Fox Hill Correctional Facility there in Nassau since. Bankman-Fried was indicted in New York in a federal court last week on 8 criminal counts and faces civil suits from the SEC and CFTC. Attorneys for Bankman-Fried declined to comment on that, but there is also a bankruptcy hearing going on right now for FTX's new management team. That's underway, and FTX saying in a filing that a number of parties have shown some willingness to return money that would eventually be used to repay customers. So far, though, mostly administrative business in that virtual hearing. We'll bring you any headlines as we get them. Back to you.
Kate, if he comes back, which seems likely, he's going to be in New York, right? He's going to be held here, I believe. Is that correct?
That is what we're hearing. And too soon to say, based on what happened yesterday and some of the confusion, there's a lot of skepticism that this will get underway. But if things go as we're hearing, he would get extradited, would have a bail hearing. So that's the big thing. They've been arguing that he should be let out on bail. There's differences of opinion on if he is likely to get out on bail. Most high-profile white-collar crimes you think of, if you think Bernie Madoff, Elizabeth Holmes, they all were released on a bond. This case different in a lot of ways, but I'm told that's very much what they're fighting for.
Kate, just broadening out to look at the crypto space, I mean, there's a lot of speculation swirling that we could see other exchanges in trouble in light of this, and just as regulators take a closer look and as more former crypto enthusiasts pull more funds right now. Any sort of sense of that from your reporting and from your standpoint?
So one of the big names that has been floated out there, and we've had the CEO on our own air, he has said that this is not the case, but Binance is now one of the biggest exchanges in the world because FTX is no longer a player. Binance has about 75 or 80% of global trading volume. There's a lot less trust in this ecosystem, so they've had to come out with things like proof of reserves. But last week we had some of the auditors that were working with these exchanges say that they are no longer working with any crypto company. So any of these exchanges are looking for someone to back them and say, hey, yeah, we can vouch for these guys. Now that the auditors don't seem to want to get involved, it's becoming even harder. There are a lot of questions on who's solvent, who's not. And that's really something people are looking for. A lot of folks have pulled their money off of exchanges in the meantime.
All right. Kate Rooney, thank you.